Welcome back, YouTubers, to another video with the British Fist Evolution with me, NJ, sitting right here, and once again, Mark.
How's it going?
And now we've got 2 words for you. What's up? And now, people, this video is gonna be on the epic breakup, or shall we say, the 3 members of the Shield, starting with Seth Rollins.
Or S&M Rollins, if you will. He is... yeah, his new ring attire. S&M Rollins, wouldn't you say, NJ? No?
Many fans would find his attire a bit inappropriate compared to the Shield attire, but in the eyes of Triple H, it's acceptable.
It's a sexual attire as far as I'm concerned. It really is. It's plastic fantastic, but hey ho.
But his attire has helped him become Mr. Money in the Bank.
It has indeed. To be fair to him, he is on a roll, and you know, the only way is up for Seth Rollins as far as I'm concerned. It just depends on how the WWE continue to build that.
And the way they're building it is by putting him, maybe not in Evolution, but in fact being Triple H's new toy to groom to become a serious guy in the WWE.
We will have some serious points as well, but talking of toys, you've just reminded me, he does actually look like an action figure in his new attire as well.
Stop that.
He can be, you know, marketed very well, because as far as I'm concerned, he does look like his action figure will look when Mattel come out and make it.
I'm sure it will come out with the trio of the Evolution, but with him being Mr. Money in the Bank, do you feel he was the right winner?
Not the most, to be honest with you, well, in terms of a Money in the Bank winner, yes. Did I actually, if you want to rewind before that, do I think his angle was the angle they should have necessarily gone down to be the reason why the Shield split up? Probably not. I thought it was a cert. If that faction was going to end, it was going to end via one way, and that was Dean Ambrose.
If we were to give our brief thoughts in this about the breakup of the Shield, we both seem to have the same opinion that Dean Ambrose needed his spotlight moment. Yes, he could do running across the announce tables, but if he was the one to be annoyed with Roman Reigns going to the top, Seth Rollins being who he is, the risk taker, Dean Ambrose turning on the Shield to be the breakup. And plus, if he became Mr. Money in the Bank, I think that could have been a whole different story.
Yeah, I mean, we've got what we've got, and the fact of the matter remains, Seth Rollins is Mr. Money in the Bank. Who and how and when he's going to cash in, I think we could be going down the Dolph Ziggler route here, because, you know, you look upon the state of the WWE at the minute, you've got John Cena. Unless they go down an angle that Triple H is going to screw him over, that's the only way. I can't see that happening. I think Cena will retain and eventually lose to Lesnar. Is he going to cash in against Lesnar? I can't see it. So it's a big question, really, because, you know, he is Mr. Money in the Bank. He's stuck in a program with Ambrose, and I think he's going to be in there throughout till SummerSlam. Where does he go from here? It is a good question.
The thing about him being Mr. Money in the Bank, I feel that with John Cena around, he's more than likely going to go against Brock Lesnar. And I don't think Seth Rollins is going to be the plan B like he was when he had broke up with the Shield. So I really think his direction going forward is going to be cashing in. But wasn't there a time when you could use that briefcase to cash in on any championship you wanted?
Yeah, I'm sure there was.
I don't think he's going to ever use that, being a Triple H guy, to go against the mid-card. So he will cash in on the world champion, who we're expecting, following SummerSlam, to be Brock frickin' Lesnar.
Well, if Lesnar... I'm sorry, right? This is where an argument starts, and this is a whole other video, to be perfectly frank. But if Lesnar beats Cena at SummerSlam and he's the World Heavyweight Champion, he's going to have some sort of run with that. You cannot have a man who has beaten The Undertaker at WrestleMania and defeated a 21-year undefeated streak to then lose to Cena, number one, or to win a title and not develop with it, to have time with it. That's number one problem. Number two problem, which is fundamentally the main problem, is Seth Rollins can't beat Brock Lesnar.
Seth Rollins has Triple H as backup, but no matter what, I think Brock Lesnar's going to be signing another deal. This is not about Brock Lesnar, but if he stays on, nothing stops Seth Rollins cashing in on, let's say, the Rumble and or WrestleMania, whenever Brock Lesnar's meant to lose it. But Seth Rollins against Brock Lesnar could happen because of Triple H, but without Triple H, I can't see the feud happening.
The only other thing as well with that is that I can't see Triple H turning face anytime soon, not with the way things are going. That would mean, in effect, Lesnar would be turning face to lose the title to Rollins via shenanigans with Triple H. It just seems a bit odd. It just seems a bit odd. But unless, I know that you're probably going to raise this. The only other angle I can think of is, where does Daniel Bryan sit here? Because that is a legitimate person Rollins could win the title from.
I want to say that Daniel Bryan is a whole nother video, so I could say that Seth Rollins versus Daniel Bryan is a likely match in the future, but there is one other guy who could, if they do make a storyline, Seth Rollins putting his briefcase on the line stupidly because he thinks he can keep it, against Dean Ambrose, the other member of the Shield who Seth Rollins seems to be going in a feud with. If Dean Ambrose became the champion, he's now meant to be a face, which will make Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose heel versus face, but it's still a guy who's recently broke out on his own going against the MMA fighter Brock Lesnar.
It's just too far-fetched. I can't see... that's just why I said, if I hark back to what I said earlier, I can only see it going down the Dolph Ziggler going on forever route. I can see him having this until way after the Rumble next year, really.
Well, if Brock Lesnar wins at SummerSlam, loses at the Rumble, he might lose it to someone who you could possibly see Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose beating. At the end of the day, Brock Lesnar will get his rematch and stuff. So it is a real interesting point. Where's the future of Seth going to go? Where's the future of Dean Ambrose going to go?
Dean Ambrose, I've got a lot of time for. I feel that he gets a lot of bad press. I actually like the twitchy, crazy edge gimmick that he's got going on. I think he's better on the mic than Seth Rollins, personally. Yeah, okay, Seth Rollins has got his attributes. He's a high flyer, he's a spot monkey, and he's a great in-ring talent. The amount of times you saw matches that Seth Rollins has been involved with and the "this is awesome" chants are thrown out. You can't deny him that. But with Dean, I think he's a good grappler. I think he's a good wrestler, and I listen to him.
With Dean Ambrose, I think right now, when he was in the Shield, I felt that he weren't getting the amount of attention he needed. This feud with Seth Rollins, he's actually getting his own mic time, his own segment, his own power over another wrestler. So I say this Dean Ambrose we're getting recently is a Dean Ambrose I can see going forward more successfully than him being in and out of the Shield.
Well, if we think back to when the Shield first came about, all the way back to when it first came about, Dean Ambrose was the spokesperson for the Shield, if I remember rightly. When he was getting like the Michael Cole interviews for the first time, who are you guys? Dean Ambrose was the one who was the mouthpiece for the Shield. It wasn't Rollins, it wasn't Reigns. It was actually Dean Ambrose. And he can cut it on the mic. I do like his in-ring work. I think he's a good talent. Do I see him elevated to a main event scale? Probably not. Certainly not for the next year or two. Maybe somewhere down the line in the future if the character and storyline can build to that, which will probably bring us to the other element of the Shield, which, in my opinion, is, if not ready yet, certainly 6 to 12 months will definitely be ready for a main event, certainly a title, and that's Mr. Reigns.
Well, Dean Ambrose, as you're saying, looked like he was going to be the one to go forward first because of him being the centre of attention. But yes, it was given to Roman Reigns. But him, just like Seth, just like Dean, has only recently broken out as a singles wrestler. And I'm just thinking, does he need more time to be, shall we say, pushed as a singles competitor before we start saying, yes, he's going to become champion in a few months?
I think Reigns could do with a chase. I don't think putting a strap on Reigns is the right thing. I think he needs the chase, and that's the whole point, that you invest in the character, you believe in the character, you know, which is, again, completely another video, but it's the same sort of thing with Daniel Bryan. Are you happy when Daniel Bryan won the title? Well, you are for that night at WrestleMania, but is it more exciting to be a Daniel Bryan fan when you're chasing that title? The same with Reigns. I think it's going to be I'd be far more invested in his character and in his development going after the belt as opposed to actually having the strap on him.
Well, the whole chasing the championship and finally getting it makes that particular wrestler really heartwarming, and he's finally made it. I don't see Roman Reigns being a chase the championship kind of guy. I think with his build, with his strength, he's someone you could say he doesn't need a chase. He can go into a match, put on a performance and become champion, no problem. But the way I see Roman Reigns is that he's going into a feud with someone who's meant to be against him, being Triple H. But Reigns, as we've seen, is getting all these great opportunities to become our next champion.
Well, you look at Reigns, yes, he's got the build, he's got the look. The women love him, the men want to be him. So he has got the look of a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He has the look of a superstar and arguably, give it a few years, a face of a company. I'm still not overly convinced by his mic skills. And I know I might be heavily criticised for that, but I've not seen him talk enough, really. He will make statements and throw away lines. And yeah, I get that. And that will, you know, either gain heat or it'll give that babyface reaction that he's looking for. But, you know, he's got the cosmetic physical package of what you should be as a champion. But I don't know. I don't think it would hurt him to go on a little chase. And if it means because he's being prevented by an authority, then so be it as far as I'm concerned.
I think that is one of his downfalls. But I think him on the mic, he does get some mic time. He is starting to talk up to Triple H, which you normally get a good feud between Boss and uprising talent, Daniel Bryan, Stone Cold and Vince, Punk and Triple H. So you have had good experience in the past. Roman Reigns, I do look forward to seeing what they do, but as a whole, I think all three of them do have the chance. You were saying about some of them main event in a year, possibly more. I think all three of them have a place as a main eventer.
Well, I mean, they're one of 2 or 3 major reasons why I tune in every week. You know, I tune in for what's going to happen next with them. I tune in with the storyline development for them, and you know, and all 3 of them for different reasons I really, really like. Do I necessarily think that they should continue down the Ambrose Rollins route throughout the rest of the year? Probably not. I think maybe it could come to a head via Battleground and SummerSlam, maybe. But I'll ask you, one quick question with regards to Reigns. Being a, you know, by your own admission, a Triple H mark, do you think that he's going to put him over as soon as SummerSlam?
It's a video that we could possibly talk into, but Triple H has had loss after loss after loss after loss. So maybe SummerSlam is going to be a Triple H win, but again, with it being SummerSlam, you expect these pay-per-views to be the chance for the other, like Bray Wyatt, Cena, Bray should have won. But here, maybe Reigns should win, but doesn't that mean the feud with Triple H is over? So it's a bit of a debate. So I'd say yes, have Reigns win, end the Triple H feud, have Triple H win, but then have Reigns win as another pay-per-view.
I mean, I tend to agree. I think Triple H should go over because, like you say, he has been losing with Evolution. He's been losing as a singles competitor at WrestleMania. And I think that it's, to be honest, I want to see the chase. I don't want to see Reigns with a belt too quick and alleviated too quickly and then bang, to nothing. I think if they build a slow burn with this guy, he really could arguably be really one of the main players and faces of the company come 2016, 2017.
Well, to bring this video towards an end, we've got Reigns on a chase before he becomes champion. I think that is quite important because we have the championship in Cena's hand, then Brock's hand.
Yeah.
So somehow you need to delay Reigns' championship win for a couple of months so you can have the Cena feud, the Lesnar feud. So why not have this Triple H feud stretch on to give Reigns an extra few months away from the championship before getting it laid down the line?
Absolutely. No, I totally agree.
But there is one more thing about this whole thing. One feud that's missing is Reigns and Seth, or later down the line, all three of them against each other. So I'm not sure how that storyline is going to come around, because it looks like they're all going in eventually their own direction. It's just a thought that I've realised the WWE have missed out on.
That's the only thing from when the Shield disbanded, if you like, or when Rollins turned heel. That's the only thing I found a little bit, what? Sorry, we're supposed to forget about that, are we? Reigns should be hating on Rollins as much as Ambrose is. And he should have been for the weeks that have just gone by, as far as I'm concerned. I get that they want to branch him away. He keeps the Shield music. He keeps the walking through the crowd gimmick, etc., etc. And he's owning that. He's owning the Shield gimmick as a one competitor, singles competitor, if you like. But yeah, there is still unfinished business there, so I tend to agree with you.
I don't see how this feud can happen now because Reigns is being pulled away from Seth. Seth's being pulled towards Dean. The only way I can see it is if Seth becomes our champion, Reigns becomes our #1 contender. If that doesn't happen, I think it's going to be different ways for all three.
Yeah, and if that does happen, surely it's about a year down the line.
Looks that way now.
Yeah.
But now, people, that has been a video on the epicness of the Shield, their breakup and their future. Please share your thoughts on what we've said, especially what Mark said, giving his opinion so strongly about the Shield in the comment section below. And thank you very much for watching once again. And please continue to support the British Fist. Until next time, YouTubers, from Mark sitting right here, NJ sitting right here. What's up?